Okay. Don't know how this microphone works yet, but we'll find out someday. Just get everything set up. I think we're about ready to go. Oh, okay. Let us get started here. I think this moved a little bit. Which way are we going? This way? Yeah, back that way. Well, hello there, the Shifting Bard. Is that from Trovo? Thanks there. Oh my goodness. You're seeing this screen. Good. Why did it switch over to this screen? Good, good, good. You know, sometimes it just puts us right on here. That's funny. Let's go find the right screen computer. There we go. Main display. What did you do? Screen 2 does not exist. Now it does. Do you play the bard? Oh, did this mess up too? Dang, where'd my chat box go? Oh, there we go. There's some of my chat box back. Alright, so we finished Bestiary February. Goal was to make 27 creatures. I didn't even know how to, like... That's good. So the answer may be yes. So I'm gonna guess you started with additions that didn't even have additions yet. My first edition, unfortunately, was 3.5. I guess it wasn't a bad edition, though. But that's where I started. Guess unfortunate's the wrong word. Ooh, a chainmail magazine. Was the magazine about chainmail at all, or was that just the name they went by? Oh, hey, it does work. It is putting your... That's good. Good to know. I didn't know my chat function worked good enough to put the chats up on the stream from both streaming services, so that's good to note. I still don't know how to fix this follower option, but I can switch it manually still. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, 3.5 was, I mean, once I learned more. When I started with 3.5, I was just not good enough as a youngin' to fully grasp what I was doing, but I had fun with it. Didn't have any, like, I was in a really small town, so I didn't have anyone else interested in that culture at the time, so there was just nobody who was doing it. Well, so yeah, we got these 27 things. I guess I was gonna showcase since we finished all the work. I had no plans for today. I was like, oh, let's get the next beasts done, but we already worked on all our beasts. How's it going, Darth? If you're there. I thought I saw you. But yeah, we got all 27 of them done. Them. D&D first came out for Redbox and the most diverse out of them. This guy didn't write much about. I got him just barely there at 50 characters. We just gave him a quick description. I don't know how well we can read those. I might have to start figuring out ways to show that better. Maybe actually zoom in on things. There we go. It's a little better. I feel like the screen is so bright. Maybe it's not bright on that end. I'm gonna go check how good that is, how legible that is. Not legible at all. At least from my screen's point of view. I've never showcased anything yet, so I guess we'll learn some new tricks today. I can kind of read it better this close. That's the closest this screen's going to get, though. Right now, just having fun making content, so let's see. Oh, they're going to be really close. But we got that guy. We got the third word was horn. So we called the temporary name is still Boris Stardust, but this cutie. Lived in a bamboo forest near the Bamboo Rat Clan settlement that's inside of the world. Corn like a unicorn, but wasn't part of the same unicorn subspecies. Had some fun for making that one. Getting it started out as a Chinese water deer, so I thought it was pretty fun to create. It emits a soft glow. And it can move at incredible speeds. So this thing's kind of fur moves around really fluffy, and it emulates purple flames at first, and then I decided that it actually leaves a real trail of purple flames in its wake. So I thought that was a little bit more unique than the original concept. So yeah. The fact of the animal now is it's made out of energy rather than flesh and blood. Don't know how it works for the whole entire creature, but it was good enough to start with. It's really seen by human eyes because it is believed that the horn is magical properties. So people have been trying to hunt this creature for let's see, their entire lifetimes. I don't know, maybe 2-3 centuries at most. So yeah, that was this this creature with horn. Oh, I forgot to post that I was going to showcase this on. Should have posted on WorldAnvil. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna post that real quick. I'm not good at showcasing, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Let's see here. They have a word for it, and I can never remember it. I think it starts with the word anvil, that's why I can never remember it. There's Anvil Showcase. That's not what I'm looking for, though. Maybe it is. Streamer Corpse, but the corpse is what I'm looking for. Do. Okay, I can find it. I'll find it a different way. No. In everything. Aha, found it. Alright, so number 4, we went with Shell. The golden shell turtle. So it possessed a tough golden shell that could withstand very strong blows, and it was a mix between a jackal and a turtle. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, so I was doing a challenge for the Bestiary February, just creating creatures, and I used Midjourney to have fun with creature creation. So the goal of this was just write whatever you want. For me personally, it was world building. So I've placed these guys inside of... Where is my tabs at? Let's see. So a lot of these guys are going to be placed into the world that I've been creating for several years. Why has it logged me out? I feel like my computer does weird things every week lately. Here we go. So in WorldAnvil, there we go. This world that we've been creating for a long time, we're going to put these creatures at some point inside of the world. So they're all here still, but once I find places and homes for them, they're going to be in the world. So some of them I've linked via the articles if I know exactly where they are in the world, and other ones I've left a little bit more vague, so I can place them in the world later, wherever they're going to be located at. So the golden shell turtle had a little bit more about him. Pretty much his main purpose is he's a tameable creature. That's also, if you cut off this part of his back, you can turn it into a mount. And he has the qualities and legs that are a little bit more faster than a tortoise would normally have. So he had some basic information about him too. But yeah, there's going to be, I don't know who yet, but somebody in the world is going to use this guy as a rideable mount. Because they're fast, they're pretty sturdy and strong, so they'll be a fun one to play with. Let's see. Then we had the word mythical. So mythical, we came up with the owl came up a lot with mythical, and I was like, oh, okay, dang it, I'll just do it. Originally, I was gonna make this the mythical creature, but I read the word mythical wrong, wherever it's at, somewhere around here, mythical. I actually typed in mystical. I made this guy, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll be my bird. But then I realized the word was mythical. So he's a little like bird that's seen at the same time this owl comes around, and he has his own little side story now. But this owl turned into a owl who shows up during conflicts. It has magical abilities. Just by flapping its wings, it can cast spells like Firestorm, Ice Storm, Poison Needles, or just powerful blasts in general. It'll be a fearsome foe in battle no matter what, but whenever it sees a battlefield, it goes to it, and most people know this owl. If they see it, they go quiet because they know this thing means business. And they also know that if one side of the conflict peacefully ends the conflict, the mystical owl is intelligent enough to just leave and not intervene. But if one group's ideals over another, whatever the war is for, they just won't give up. The owl will choose a side, and yeah, you're pretty much, the conflict's going to end just as fast. You just hope the owl is on your side. That's his shtick. Ooh, you know what? I never thought about pulling the shell off and making armor from the shell itself. I would guess that people would do that on the turtle. That's a good thing to think about. So then we have, oh yeah, you can also sometimes come up to it. It has secrets. It can teach you powerful spells. So since it's steeped in legend, no one really knows where the owl rests between wars. So sometimes wars are instigated just based off of somebody wanting to capture the owl. Nobody's ever captured it, but bounty hunters are always tasked to go to these war scenes and try to find a way to get to this owl. So that's that guy. Wonder if that shows up. Oh yeah, so both chats show up on here. That's cool. Don't even know how that works. And then this little guy, he got his story kind of cut in half, but whenever there's specific major events come around, every 100 years or so, if you see this guy, he's like the bird of fate. So he seals a fate into you if you see him. But he travels with the mythical owl as well. So, just a little bit of lore. Had fun kind of working on those guys. So that was mythical. The next word of the month was pray. Pray was a little bit harder for the application. Because it probably logged me out of Discord too, I'm guessing. Yeah, I've been logged out of everything. But Prey, pretty much the app that I was using couldn't really get Prey to work very well. I gotta go back to my... Oh, there's people playing games. Who's playing games? 7 days, nice. No, we're going to creatures. So when we were working on Prey, if you just imagine it by itself, it was pretty much regular, harder to fine-tune it, so we kind of specialized Prey into pretty much a group of scientists who found a way to manipulate living organisms. So this guy used to be a living, or I guess he's mostly machine now, probably. He's a little ambiguous about that, but They discovered a way to do it, so the organism's organic body was replaced with mechanical body parts in the process, and they enjoyed it. They're like, yeah, this is what we want. So they kept going for it, despite the benefits of the transformation. Like, gets pretty strong. There are some downsides, especially for people who didn't like what was happening. You know what? I think swimsuit for turtle part would be good. Swimsuit for turtle part would be good. It's a good question. I have to find a way to be able to see yours quicker. I'm still figuring out fast ways to see chats. Need like a little window cut out. A picture-in-picture. Oh, that might actually be a good idea someday. I won't do that today. So yeah, scientists pushed the boundaries after they created like the first part. They kept going until they also found out a way to mix this genetic makeup with like different minerals. And so a mineral they tested on was tourmaline, because this is steeped in a story that's already created in the world. So they found that they could fuse it, make the armor more resilient. But as you can tell, if this guy was a human or whatever he was, he definitely doesn't look like his normal self anymore. So the results of the mechanical marvels that are the true wonders of science and magic, but the first human subjects to undertake this transformation was the captain of the Tourmaline Guard. He can no longer speak, but he still has... He can still understand everyone. He hasn't lost any of that. So he still protects the queen at all costs. And he doesn't look gentle, but he has a gentleness about him, if you ever get to meet him. Okay. Oh yeah, so this is what Prey kept doing whenever we tried to get the word to start with. Wasn't terrible, but had to work around it, so we did it. We got there. So that's Article 6. Article 7, Monstrous. We had fun with that one. So, let's see, we opened it up here. Okay, so I'd have to look over there. I guess I can start just looking randomly in two different directions. So Monstrous, we had we were having fun this day actually on creating something a little bit more artistic and crazy, because I'm not that type of artist, so that was fun to work and collaborate on it. We had Forgotten Love. So their lore was, it'd been said, if one forgets to show love, this creature will visit you. So we kind of made a little backstory on Forgotten Love. Didn't know... I haven't written a lot of stories and backstories before, so... It only appears when... for those who forget the importance of love. So... the creature is said to appear from a swirling blue smoke, which is why people depict it that way, as well as a beautiful and terrible at the same time blue flame-like woman. Anyone who shares that they've seen this presence says it's overwhelming. They also have a lot of just talking about, although it's terrifying, it usually is there as a helpful being. So those who heed the warning from the being as it tries to help you when you stray away from the path of love will spare your wrath, while if you refuse to learn from it, you'll be consumed by this creature's hunger, and it'll devour your soul. So pretty basic, but in a world where love is often seen as a weakness, the appearance of Forgotten Love serves as a reminder of the power and importance of one of those basic human emotions, because I don't know who it's going to be for yet, but a reminder that no one can afford to forget. They hope to avoid this creature's wrath. So, a little fun. And that's what that guy looks like. So, next, where am I at? Or I'm here. I always hit wrong buttons. There we go. After that, we had Mr. Colorful, the Sand Cat. I never got a good name for him. He's just Sand Cat still. But the word was colorful. We were realizing he didn't have much color to him. So, he now can construct worlds of color within the minds of his enemies. It's literally bred for one purpose. This was used to be a tool of war. So these cats are born, bred to mess with the minds of their enemies. They also can teleport. So they have the teleport. They usually just sneak behind enemy lines because a lot of people don't look behind them when they're attacking an enemy going forward. So it's harder to find them overall. He doesn't even need like total line of sight currently to unleash his power, so I might make that a priority, but we'll see. With intense concentration, he is able to create worlds within the enemy's minds. The downside is the worlds have to be more vibrant and colorful than anything they have ever experienced before. So this cat knows that. It's trained about that too, so it doesn't want to like make the most vibrant world ever, because if it needs to keep tricking the enemy, it has to create a more and more vibrant world for the enemy to see. They get lost in colors and sensations, and so their effectiveness on the battlefield is just, it's garbage. Like, the cat's good at its job. It knows how to trick people. So it has little effect on creatures that already live in the world of vibrant colors. So if this creature is being put to work against something that's just naturally sees the world in the perspective of more vibrant colors, then it will have little effect on them. But the most well-trained of these can take the perceptions of hundreds of soldiers and render them nearly helpless in the face of an opposing force. So they can quickly turn the tide of the battle, which is pretty cool. They're small but deadly. So that's again, oh yeah, I need to remember to zoom it out so you can see the whole picture. There we go. So that's that guy. The cat that's bred for war. February Bestiary. I finally found the page I was looking for on this other screen. And we just need to grab this and call it good. Alright, so let's go to the next one. So this one was a fun one. Just the artwork inspired some fun storytelling elements. Let's click. So he wrote a lot about the nocturnal reef. It was a fun one to write about. So the nocturnal reef looked, so this is like an image of what it would look like in the dark because it is not underwater. So yeah, that was really fun. Once the lands were bountiful of water, but One day, a golden net of magic engulfed the land that is part of a world lore inside the world. But the water all vanished immediately. There's no water left. But the life that lived there survived in a different way. So plants of all kinds have adapted to live off of moonlight as their primary source of energy and substance. So they grow larger in size, more lush with each passing day. As the night comes, that's when they grow, because they get all their nutritions now from the moon. The reef that surrounds the lands is teeming with life. It's just not the same life it used to be. So the reef sounds like an African jungle. So if you can hear the echoes of the African jungle, there's a lot of different things you could hear. And I thought that was kind of fun to think about, that there's just so much life that it's a really loud area. But the reef isn't no ordinary reef. The bottom of the ocean floor is a dark jungle of all the different types of plants, as well as standing kelp forests. So I don't know what would happen if you removed the water from kelp, but my guess is it would just fall, probably. So surprisingly, the kelp is the forests now. Seagrass is still like water-like, wavy-like, so there's some weird magic going on there. And they all thrive off of the gentle glow of the moon. So there are no fish anymore, but plants are still here, and it draws in a lot of people who want to check this place out. As the people start figuring out that it exists, because they'd probably go to the lake and be like, oh, where'd the lake go? And then they would just see this amazing place now. So the moonlight illuminates the leaves, casting soft glow across the land and creating a landscape that is breathtaking to look at. So we have the protector, this little guy. I don't know how big he actually is, but I'm imagining him a little bit littler, but not too little. Deep within the reef, there is a creature that watches over these lands. It is the protector of the nocturnal reef, which is a basilisk hybrid, like a bird and a basilisk hybrid. It developed a body of feathers, allowing it to blend seamlessly in with its surroundings. It's pretty much impossible to spot at nighttime against the landscape around it, because it looks very similar to the plant life. It just patrols the reef during the night, watches over the lands, and when danger approaches, it does have sharp talons, tough armor, or it can go through the toughest of armors with its talons, and it has some pretty scary eyes that can stare at you. So I said that it would scare even the bravest warriors that looked at it. We did some more fun just looking at other creations. Nocturnal Lurker and the White Fang, which just medicine, trying things out. So it was fun to create that. We had danger. There was nothing I could create creature-wise easily with the word danger, but I still kept it in there. We created this worm-like creature. Fearsome beast. It has more of a grayish skin color to it, and it does bury in and out of the ground a lot, so it has copious amounts of dirt on it. Its body twists and coils like a massive serpent. Its skull-like face is adorned with glowing orange eyes that seem to burn with an unquenchable fire. So, it stands guard, I decided, to the entrance of a lost civilization in a forgotten land that has long been shrouded in mystery and legend. The entrance leads to the advanced civilization of untold knowledge and insight, but no one has ever gotten past this guy. I honestly didn't think about how he moves much and what he does, but I definitely think he is going to be a hard fight in the world if anyone ever wants to go try to find this lost civilization. So that was his main shtick. He is scary dude, big. And yeah, he doesn't have much else. He's just big and scary right now. Let's see who's next. So that was Danger. We had Purr, P-U-R-R. And I decided to name him Pure the Ocelot at the time. So we're working on him. I used some steampunk words, but the world didn't look too steampunky to like make it seem like it was there. So it's just a more advanced civilization somewhere in the world. So he's an intelligent and fiercely determined ocelot. His mission is to save his sister Ember. He wears a black and brown leather jacket. Probably. I'm just guessing at the colors. But he exudes a confidence and strength in everything he does. His sister Ember possesses a unique ability that heals others. So now she has been captured by a notorious gang who has no name. They plan to use some powerful new technology they were making. So this society is getting some good technology made, and they want to extract her abilities and transfer it from her to a magical stone, which they can either use or sell. So Pierre has exceptional tracking skills, so he sets out on a journey to find his sister. I don't even know at this point. Like, I'm guessing he's just like a side quest. If like other players were to find him in the world, he's just doing his own thing. So if other players find him, they might be able to help rescue the sister as well, or maybe find out the mystery. So he just has a basic story, pretty much like just in case. He's armed with sharp wit and razor-sharp claws. I realized I used sharp twice there, so probably need to fix that someday. He does have some friends that I just mentioned because this guy was here, but their whole entire shtick is they want to stop this gang. And then, since purr was the actual word, and it was kind of just a joke that it was a cat at the time, his friends call him Purr when making fun of him at the tavern. So, that is this gentleman. Next, we have Roar. Was it Nerdy Sakura? Had a ferret. I think it was Nerdy Sakura. I'm gonna go find out really quick who it was, because I remembered how much love I have for ferrets when someone else was talking about ferrets on one of the streams. Why can I not find where I'm looking for? Yeah. So, Nerdy Sakura was talking about ferrets, and I'm like, yes. So I started creating a ferret. The word was roar. I thought it was a cute little roar for this ferret. So he was named Little Pyro. And his lore, he has bright orange fur and piercing black eyes, commanding attention wherever he goes. One of his most unique qualities is his capability of conjuring flames at will. So, with a mighty roar, I try to at least get the word in there somewhere, he can crush walls with little to no effort, and his pyromancy skills are renowned across the continent, whichever continent he lives. And so everyone now calls him Little Pyro. Despite his destructive capabilities, he actually is pretty mischievous. He has a mischievous personality. He loves nothing more than causing a little chaos and getting into some trouble just for the thrill of it. But he is loyal to those who earn his trust. So when he needs to get serious, he definitely can. As a freelancer, Little Pyro traveled from town to town looking for work and new friends. He used his pyromancer skills to solve problems and impress potential employers, but always made sure to have a little fun along the way. So, he can't speak any languages, but he has keen intuition and intelligence, so he can understand everything in the world around him, navigate situations with ease. He has no problem. He knows how to handle himself. He does have that carefree attitude, but he's on a personal mission to prove himself to the world. He doesn't feel like he's proven himself yet. He keeps working towards that. So he wants to become a master pyromancer, and that's what he's doing. He's getting one step closer every time to his goal. So if you ever meet him in an adventure, you're sure to have a little bit of fun with this little guy. So that's Article 12. 13, we went with Shriek. Shriek was a pretty terrifying word. No matter what, things look pretty scary. So, we had the nectophobia came up in chat. So we're talking about it because the creatures were pretty scary and we made them scared of the dark. So this guy was the shadow of nectophobia. Kind of like the Forgotten Love. The shadow creature of nectophobia was a mysterious and eerie being, shrouded in darkness, lurking in the shadows. So its wide blue glowing eyes are one of two visible features in the dark. The creature's teeth almost gleam with an unnatural brightness, so they have a little bit of a brightness around them. And for those who might have seen him, report that they hear a gargled shriek as well. So since the word was shriek, I tried to add that in there. It has a fearsome appearance, but the shadow creature seems to have a purpose more complex than just scaring people. So he's kind of like the feelings, the love creature, but whenever someone feels afraid of the dark, this creature appears, casting ominous shadows. But for those who stand up against their fear of courage, or the fear of, or have the courage to stand up against their fear of the dark, the creature has been told that it'll offer you guidance to overcome their phobia. But for those who lack the strength of will to confront their fears, the shadow creature is a terrifying presence, which will just fill them with paralyzing sense of dread and uncertainty. They will not overcome their fears. The realm of nectophobia, so I kind of turned it into a realm that it controls, so it controls this realm. We don't know much about it. Many who enter the realm are consumed by their fears, lost to never be seen again. But those who ever confront their fears and emerge victorious, they may see the light again and leave. I probably should add, like, with a newfound confidence of the world, probably. Something along those lines. I was just writing enough to get it out there. So that's what we did there. That was a fun one. Where am I at? There I am. Number 14. Aspen, the Hound of Hope. So this guy's shtick was, I wanted him to be the protagonist of the town. Like, no matter what happened, everything was about him. So, if a group of adventurers come into this town, Aspen, the Hound of Hope, is a famous blue tick hound. I don't know if he always looks this ferocious. I think this is just for the artwork. I think when he's not looking like this, I think he looks more just normalized, a little bit more. I don't know if stoic is the word, but he definitely looks calmer. What was the word? I have to go back. Oh, howl. So I was trying to get howl to work. I definitely didn't show the howl here. I don't even know if I talked about howling over here. Well, Howl came up with a dog, and I stuck with dog this time. So the entire fate of the town is in his paws. Why is he? I described him for a little bit. You can see exactly what he looks like. But those in town that believe in him think he's the town's protector. But he has a nemesis, and as cliche as it is, an equally impressive feline whose sole mission was to rid the town of all animals but cats. So you got that very normal trope there. The cat was the mastermind commanding a large syndicate of underground companies who were willing to risk their lives for the cause. So the blue tick hound knew this, and only hope was to capture this cat before it was too late. But of course, it's not that easy. So the blue tick hound sets out on his quest to capture the cat. He will need help if he wishes to end the cat's unrivaled power. His journey, the hound went through alleys, back streets, high and low for any clues. He talked to other animals, gathered information, and pieced together everything he needed to find the cat. So after months of searching, he discovered one of the cat's hideouts hidden deep within the catacombs beneath the town. I thought if I was going with tropes, I might as well go with another trope. With a mighty howl. Oh, I did add it. Look at me go. He prepares to take down the syndicate once and for all. Perfect. I'm impressed I actually remember to put the howl in there. So, that's his story. That's his shtick. If you ever come into the worlds that I've been creating for a while and you want to go on a trope adventure, he's that trope. Oh yeah, and then Aspen was the name of my father's first puppy. It's given to us by my brother, so that's the personal element of it. So I thought that was pretty cool to add. The next word was tamed. We had the Arctic fox race. I don't remember what created this guy originally, or why we went on to the topic of foxes. Maybe the word tamed was creating a lot more of those type of animals. So, we decided on the Arctic fox. So there's a new species, race of individuals. So the civilization was built upon its snowy landscape. The architects of the society were the Arctic foxes, who are a proud and noble race, who they've figured out how to live in these harsh environments. They have thick white fur. They've developed a culture that is sophisticated and refined for them. I never know how old things can last. They look like they could be an average age of race of... Those words didn't make sense, so... Their age is unimportant right now. They are known for their strict adherence to tradition, and they rely on the wisdom of their elders. They have value education and intelligence above everything, but their society is built on a system of meritocracy. I never said this word out loud. Don't make me say words. How do I say it? Give it to me. Meritocracy. Yeah, I would have messed that up 10 times. But they're built on this system of meritocracy, where the most capable individuals are given the greatest responsibilities. That's their decisions. That's how they're living their lives. Despite their ignorance of cultures other than but they bowed their heads respectfully and asked for it. The object was there, but I cannot hand it over. The Hawks then said, "What?" Or one of them said, "What can we do to gain it?" He gestured. They followed him into the inner chambers of one of the buildings, and when it glows with a soft light, the monk said I don't even know what this is called. A rhyme? No, it's not called a rhyme. Task unknown to make it unbound. Complete the task. This is going to either be background lore, like, and the object, they touch it, and they're no longer standing in the monastery. They're in a damp cavern, and they see a faint glowing light in the distance. They don't know where they are, so that's how their adventure begins. That was pretty much what we did there. So that was fun. Just told a story instead of actually talking about the creature itself. But I really liked the monk's idea, and I thought, who would be a better monk than a honey badger? And so we made some honey badger monks. The word was burrow. I was thinking of creatures that burrowed, but we came up with this guy. So, in the lush jungles of Torvik Estes, I put them in the jungles. There's a monastery of honey, just built as a bastion of peace and wisdom. But the honey badger monks who inhabit the place has harnessed the power of the Tanari honey badgers, an ancient order of fighters known for their ferocity and resilience. Because I'm pretty sure if I type in honey badger on any search engine, let's see, images. Yeah, they look pretty ferocious when they're yelling at you. So I kind of thought it was funny to make them a little bit more tamed. So they spend their days training, honing their skills. They are the defenders of their home. Usually each home has one magical artifact that they have taken an oath to protect. They're imbued with immense power or knowledge, so the honey badgers know too well that they are the protectors of these items and people will come for them. Despite their reputation, though, they welcome travelers of all walks of life, offering guidance and support. Many adventurers come seeking secrets of the magical artifacts, but they only leave with much more than they bargained with. They often leave. Okay, good thing I wrote it with often. So newfound sense of purpose, greater understanding of things around them. So for the honey badgers, this is their home, or not just a home, but a way of life. They are dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge and the preservation of ancient wisdom. So that was our fun. I'm excited to add them to the world. So the honey badger monks and a Tanari fighting style. I don't know if Tanari will be part of their name, but that's there. Oh, all right. So for Article 18, we had Bond, the Magnus, the Goat Alchemist. The word bond in this case just meant bonding things together. So that's what Magnus looks like. Magnus, the Goat Alchemist, is a well-known figure in a town called Emerald Reach. With his curly green fur and nimble hands, he spends most of his time in his lab, making potions and elixirs, with the help from his little friend here. He had recently made a new creation, a potion that helps the town guard repel monsters with ease. So he just bonded new ingredients found in the wilds. There's new ingredients on the ground that nobody's ever seen before. So he is pretty much the forefront of putting those ingredients together and seeing what they do. He spends those ingredients together and seeing what they do. He spends long amount of time just experimenting with rare ingredients, takes detailed notes. He is currently working for on a mysterious potion. Nobody knows, not even his closest friends, what that is. He also enjoys using his potion creation skills to make potions that change the color of plants. So he can just change the color of plants at will if he wants to. You know, I just thought of something to add to him. I need to add a note that says Magnus is always looking for adventures. This is just a side note for myself. To go out and grab new ingredients. It makes sense. That's all he cares about. Okay, we're gonna save that. So yeah, that's what he's looking for. He's pretty much spends his time alone. He dedicates himself to his craft, but he's becoming so popular that people are recognizing him and they want him and his potions more and more. So he's got some cool stuff going on. For stinky was the word for article 19. We decided to go with like a poison cloud. It does smell. It smells a little stinky, but wasn't the main focus. So we came up with the Honduras ghost bat. So he has a very gray-like skin. Probably the only reason why these are green is the color from the smoke. He's also known as, the Honduran white bat is also known as the Honduran ghost bat. And he can blend in pretty well with his surroundings because his stone-like skin makes it so people just mistake him for a statue on a building, a perch on a gravestone, wherever he's at. And since his eyes are really look like gems, if something gets close enough to take those gems, it usually will not live long enough. So it uses that to its advantage. A notable feature is it can create this stinky, foggy mist of green poisonous substance. He can make a lot of it. So pretty much if you see this mist, you are given an opportunity, if you know the lore behind this creature. That's definitely a lore check. If you saw that mist and you knew the lore of this creature, you would know that you need to stay cautious. He's immune to it himself. It has affinity for habitats built with gray stone, so graveyards, ruins, old buildings. That's where this creature likes to stay. The bat has a deep connection with the next world, that some say. So it's a symbol of death and the afterlife in some cultures. They call that a symbol of one of those two things. It does contribute to the ecosystem too, so I made sure it wasn't just a monster for monster's sake. He pollinates flowers, he spreads seeds, just to name a few things that he does. Yo, how's it going there? Just showcasing the last 30 days of work. Bestiary February. So yeah, that's his main thing. Not too much written about him. I did not draw all of this. I used AI to create all of it. But it takes a lot of fun time to do. So you start with how that process looks is you start with a word that you want. So if I want something stalking somebody, you just start with the word and you build it over time until you get what you want. So it takes a while, a couple hours, but you put different words into it until you work towards it. So we just have fun making creations with Midjourney. Gentle, Lycani, the Gentle Knight. Honestly, this one was harder than I expected. And it was tough. But what happened was I was trying to make a subspecies of giraffe. I know giraffe tars aren't like technically a thing, but that was the best way I could describe it. So this is a subspecies of the giraffe tar species, which I have no idea what that is, but it has human-like qualities. Its giraffe-like qualities are pretty scarce and non-existent, but I couldn't think of any other animal to describe it. So it's an anthropomorphic giraffe now. I didn't write much about him. He is smaller than you would expect for a giraffe. The gentle giraffe is more at home in the company of scholars and artists, but the duty does call. He chose Knight for a reason as his career choice. His unwavering dedication to ideals and justice and honor is why he became a knight. I do have to flesh out his story more. Like, I need to say why, what happened in his youth. He has a lot of work to do, but he is going to protect the law of these lands. So he was a quick one. Nothing too notable with this creation, but it was still fun to do. Ooh, I really like this one, though. The Messenger. The Desert Messenger. So, the word was messenger, and although there's not much written here, this guy's story is pretty vast. So this is a grasshopper. I was toying around with a lot of different designs with the grasshopper, and although I wanted to show off the grasshopper face, I really like the idea that these messengers are like scavengers as well as they don't need much water to live, so they're desert messengers. So they're highly sought after. Not only do that they've fixed their skills to deliver messages discreetly and effectively, they are now a very valuable resource to anybody who wants to get their messages anywhere because they have special skills. They have a magical ability to lock information within their minds, so they can keep it safe from anyone, even if they're captured. So they're trusted messengers. They are trusted with important information. They scavenge the desert along the way for like animal body parts, it looks like here, and other trinkets and things that'll be useful. So I can just imagine an entire player base like wanting to play these messengers and have an entire adventure in desert land. That's something I could see. So there's a lot of utility with this one. The reason they got their name is because they can go about a month. They can go months without needing much water, and they built their society in the desert because why not? You're already used to it, and not very many people stay in the desert for that long, so it's a pretty safe place. They cultivate cactus farms that supplies all the water they need, which isn't much anyways. So a lot of the desert messengers just go place to place and just get water from that. And I just reiterated that they have really good billies, and they're very expensive to hire, but they're worth the cost to any buyer. So these are the grasshopper messengers. So they're anthropomorphic grasshopper creatures. I like the song. So that is Article 21. We got 6 more to go. Article 22. The Black Pearl Brewery. So the word was food. I like boba. And so boba plus goat equals food, right? But no, the Black Pearl Brewery, boba tea shop tavern owned and operated by a group of goats. They are a subspecies of anthropomorphic goats. They make their buildings really colorful, nice, cool designs. They have fun with it. The interior is cozy, cute. The walls are decorated with art depicting goats enjoying various activities. The goats that run the tavern are dressed in colorful aprons, chef hats. The owner of the establishment right here is going to be that person who actually does that. Hello, who is that? Is that Illumine? Thank you, Lemonade. So, the owner of the particular things. Yo, thanks there. Where am I at? Owner, yeah. So they wear the black dress with yellow and red polka dots because that's what the AI decided to give me. that's its dress. But they are always happy to recommend their favorite boba flavors, meals. Their menu is extensive. I swear I got rid of goat stew, but apparently it did not get rid of it. I wrote down a couple food items, and then my fiance kindly pointed out that goat stew might not be the best thing to serve because the creatures are goat. So goat cheese pizza because of the cheese. I'd just get rid of goat stew for now. It was a good recommendation. So, where was I? Oh, I accidentally got rid of it. That's funny. I thought I got rid of that. Anyways, they do serve goat cheese pizza and black sesame. The black sesame pearl, which is a boba tea drink with black sesame seeds. I actually don't know if that's good or not. I'm just coming up with random things. I want to try it now that I've written some of it, but milk and the black sesame seeds might make it taste good. I don't know. I'll have to like buy some and see if this would actually taste good. But I just wrote some food like goat cheese pizza. The goats are passionate about their craft. They get the freshest ingredients that they can for their dishes. They have a small garden outside of the breweries. And these breweries are a staple in the community, as well as they've been opening up establishments like this all across Torvik Estas. So in that, they're travelers. They've opened up here. They've opened up breweries here. They've opened up breweries over here. They have definitely infiltrated all 3 cities. So they're going to have some interesting storylines because their storylines will intertwine all the stories of this really crappy landmass that I created. So I'm still putting everything on here. I don't care how bad it looks. But yeah. You know what? When I do make the actual recipe, I will definitely add it. I do have ingredients to make boba at my house. So, and I have black sesame. I could try this out, honestly. It's not that hard. I think I only said sweet and savory flavors, which is milk and black sesame seeds and honey syrup. So yeah, it's not that hard of a drink to make. So challenge accepted. I'm going to make this drink at some point. Black sesame. I'll write it down. I will write it down if I remember. I don't know about next stream, but I will not forget if I write it down. Okay, black sesame. I'll make sure I have that on hand. I'm pretty sure I have some black sesames. I need honey. syrup, honey syrup, which is just honey. And I have that at the house. And then boba pearls, I got that already. And creamy milk. So I just need to figure out what kind of creamy milk I want. I'll take you up on that offer though. Be on the watch out. I'll put like boba taste in the stream name. Actually, here, I'll figure out something. Boba taste. Boba, what's this called? The Black Pearl Brewery. I'll think of some name. It should have the word boba in it though. Good idea. Boba tasting. All right, I take notes. That's the only way I remember things, and they just stick right onto my what's this thing called? What is this thing called? My monitors. So we have solidified that in my mind. I'll never forget it. So yeah, that's this location. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna definitely flush this story out a lot more. I think I'm gonna actually just I've never really put anything on RPG drive-through. What's that? Drive-through RPG maybe? I probably was drive-through RPG. Yeah. So I'm thinking of putting my first products on here soon with all this fun, just for fun. And so I'm going to flesh out some of these stories and try it out. Just have fun making cool resources for Dungeons and Dragons. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I gotta get better at writing. That's what I'm doing, is writing. So that's the Black Pearl Brewery. We had next the Vicious was the word for the Bestiary February challenge. Where are we? Yeah, we're on Vicious, so 23 of 27. So we made a really overpowered saber-toothed creature. Honestly, I think he's pretty overpowered, but we'll talk about him. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna write your second idea. Add the actual recipe. You're definitely right. Add actual. I read it, but I didn't write it down. I'll forget if I don't write it. That's my mind. Okay. So this guy, he is a mountainous creature. He loves roaming the mountains. And he's probably going to be the last thing you see alive if you find this guy. He's got basic qualities, but then normally a couple well-trained warriors would have no problem taking this guy down, but this guy has the ability to harness the power of lightning. So as you can tell, it had some lightning-like qualities, so we went with lightning. And its fur crackles with energy. Bolts of lightning strike the ground around it whenever it gives off a deafening roar. So just its roar alone. It doesn't really know how to control it all the time. But it does seem to control the lightning. And so it uses it as an intimidation method to ward off potential threats. But don't let that fool you. If it is a life-threatening situation, it can control it good enough to stay alive. So he's a very dangerous creature to deal with. So the locals have given it the nickname Vicious Lightning, because I'm terrible at naming stuff, and that's the best name I had at the time. So he's highly territorial. He's fiercely protective of wherever he calls home currently, but he only stays in caves that are adorned with some glittering crystals, and those crystals seem to amplify its powers. So, if you ever go as an adventuring group and you're going to a cave and you see some really cool glittering crystals, you might be like at first, "Oh, we need to check these crystals out." But if it is also filled with the sound of crackling energy and the smell of ozone, that would be like a lore check for bestiology. You probably do not want to use that cave. So, the mere sight of this creature's glowing eyes is enough to strike fear into the hearts of any adventurer. And so that's this guy. Let me bring him into view. Fiance just got home. All right, so that's Vicious Lightning. We're getting close to the end. We have Silent. The word Silent. I was going with a beaver. I wanted a beaver assassin, but it gave me like this red panda feel. But that's fine. I went with it. So that's what he looks like. Could bring him up closer. He's a silent hunter. I felt like I wrote more about him, but apparently this is all I wrote. That's fine. I really liked his backstory and lore, so we'll talk about that at least. He's small in stature, but he moves through the shallows pretty silently. He has the armor you can see, small frame, and his cold, muted eyes. I feel like they're going to be more muted than what you actually see here, but the AI generated it that way, so I kept it. But it tells you that it reveals nothing of his thoughts or intentions. He's pretty cold-blooded. In his paw, he wields a uniquely designed mace that can be used for both close combat, and he uses it as a throwing weapon just because he can. The mace has been imbued with powerful magic, so it enhances his lethality. It makes it impossible to disarm if he wants to keep it on him. He uses that to his advantage, somehow, probably. But he can defeat enemies 5 times his size without even breaking a sweat, so he's a lot stronger than he looks. The Beaver Assassin is known to kill without remorse, and its loyalty lies with the highest bidder. So the basic trope that all he cares about right now is whoever's giving him the most money. You'll probably die if you meet him, is the lore behind him. So, I haven't figured out how to add him to the world yet, but I do like his lore. I like the idea of him being a silent killer, so if I ever need somebody to kill somebody in the world, they'll hire him. If the players catch on and figure it out, they'll realize that there's this guy killing people in the world called the Silent Killer, or the Silent Hunter. So, yeah, he has a little bit of lore, but not too much. Parasite was hard. This word is banned on Midjourney, and so I had to do actual research on what type of parasites there are in the world. And I went with the mite parasite. So mite is not a banned word, so I was able to use that. So this little guy, I think he turned out pretty good. I was trying to figure out ways to like remove these little bulbs everywhere, but I think they add some good flavor to them. I think yeah, that it's true. I'm gonna guess that no one, including myself, wants to see like something like a parasite crawling out of the body just on accident. So maybe that's why, because parasites are always linked to the flesh. But not sure. But this guy, he's got a pretty easy to understand story. He's the size of a piece of rice. He's attracted to magic. So I decided this world here, technically, there's no magic in this world yet. The whole entire point of this campaign I've been building for a millennia now. No, it's only been a couple of years, probably like 5 or 6, is magic doesn't exist, and then all of a sudden it does, and it is it is just absolutely chaotic. So this is a chaotic world. No magic exists. When magic exists, now these creatures exist too. So he only exists after the Aeon of Magic, which a lot of creatures I've shown off today. None of these guys exist because a lot of them have magical properties, but some of them do. They're all existing after the campaign starts. But they can sense magic, and they will go towards the largest magic source, attach themselves to the skin just like a mite would, and they'll feed off of the magical energy, however that science works. Once attached, it can cause weakness, dizziness, disorientation. So it kind of disguises itself as a disease, like a natural common cold. So people aren't too like looking for this tick. His goal is to stay on as long as possible, so he wants to disguise himself as other diseases. But this might, if you get a couple of them on you, they can just make you completely powerless and vulnerable. And I kind of want it to feel like you don't know your magic is missing. So somehow he makes you feel like you still have magic. I think that's really cool. I'm going to write it down because I've said that to myself, but I didn't actually put it in here. So I'm just going to make sure I take that side note that they can make you feel like you still have all your magics. Because that's how I want them to be dangerous, is they do that. So that's those guys. Little is known about them because when they first come alive, unfortunately, people don't even understand that they exist. So when you're casting magic, you also don't know why your magic is not working sometimes. And that's because these little guys have been causing problems as nobody knows how magic works yet. So they're just a huge problem for society as a whole. And it makes it harder for people to understand their magical abilities that they're learning. Some magic users, very few, I'll say, I said some, but few, very few, have found a way to cast spells to repel them, and that's going to be very valuable magic later on in life, because it is a catastrophic event. Like, everyone is going to get close to dying in every town, and unfortunately, that's why I had to develop so much story. Why does this keep coming up? I have to develop so much story because each town's going to be affected simultaneously. I don't want every town to die just because there is an adventuring hero party. So there are two ways I've decided to handle the problem. Is either I have to have multiple campaigns, one for each town, and each town's campaign tells the story of how that town dealt with their magical issues. It's a pretty complex campaign. I've created 9 new magic systems from scratch, and I'm still working on those magic systems, for instance. So this guy actually is going to play a pretty big role in later on life down the road. So that's this guy. This is cute. I think he has looked way better than I was expecting when I first typed it in. We got 2 left. Yeah, most likely is my guess. I'm a component of. I've been doing a lot of 5e, so I know 5e the most. But I am playtesting a new system for a company, and it fits my style. So I might use that system, and I think they're also working 5e into it. So if it all works out, it might just naturally be a part of their system, but still work out fine. All right, last 2. Ooh, I'm gonna be done early. So I wanted to do a bird, like a pelican, and unfortunately, when I was making this pelican, I don't even know if I can load it. gallery is under maintenance. Oh, well, I cannot show you my gallery right now. It'd take too long to go up this, but actually, no, the Pelican was made pretty recently, so let me just do my forever scroll. Oh yeah, he's right there. Perfect. Is this where it started? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, so this is where this guy started, for instance. I got a pelican, and I kind of liked how it looked, and the word was predator. I was like, oh, I want to make him look like a more dangerous predator. So because the word predator, unfortunately, this is what predator does by itself. So it's a little too spot on to the word predator. I don't want to make it look like the actual predator guy. So I picked a creature, which was the Dalmatian pelican. And then, unfortunately, it didn't look predator-ish at all. There was no predator part. So then I started trying to combine the pelican and the predator over time. And he's just too monstrous. Like, I didn't want this creature to be like everybody runs away from it when they see it sort of kind of creature. But I saw a couple that would blend. It was blending well together. So I kept trying different ways out. And then I finally found one that I kind of liked. I'm like, okay, we're getting there. So then I started using that prompt as a base for the next ones. And then I started seeing some unique designs that were completely unique to me, at least. So I saw this guy. He was actually one version of the guy that I did. And so I tested out a few of them just to see what they looked like. And then I saw this guy, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's my boy. So he became the predator. This guy came in very close second. I liked his details, but he looked a little too unnatural. This guy looks like he could have been somewhat naturally created. So I went with him, and that was it. That's his journey. So he is nothing too special about him. He is just another bird living in a harsh environment. Because he was getting close to being extinct, these birds adapted quickly. With how magic works in my world, evolution happens quickly, and so this is what it evolved into, was like a hard-boned exterior pelican. And now it is pretty strong. It's got a lot of armor. It's a highly sociable creature, territorial. It has its own social hierarchy now. So it defends territory from other groups of the same creature, even along the coastlines. They are quite vocal. They can't actually speak, but they have distinctive calls and echoes across the beach and water to stay informed about everything. So while they're generally peaceful, they will become aggressive if threatened. So they still have that, even though they're a predator, the red-boned pelican is a predator, they just predator on other creatures that didn't adapt as well as them. So they're like the lower level adaptation of some of those more intense creatures we were making. So I liked it. It was just, what would creatures look like in this new world after the devastation and magic came in? So that's the red-boned pelican. And last, we did Stalking. So he was known as the Silent Terror. Again, I am not good at naming things. I did like the picture. So what I wanted is, swamps usually look very dark and drab, and they just don't have much color to them. So I wanted to kind of change that swampy look a little bit, still have that water, the dark forest look to it, but there's flowers and other stuff. I get it. I get why a swamp normally looks like it does, but I decided to change things up. So this little guy is called the Silent Terror. He was pretty basic. Everything about him, I just took crocodile lore and put it on a piece of paper. Gave him some fluff words. I think that's it. He just feasts on things. Yeah, it's just a normal crocodile in this world. He has no notable qualities except that he has too many toes, which I just dealt with that. Sometimes I don't fix their hands when they're really messed up, and I'm fine with it myself. Because this art is just to tell the story. I like looking at the artwork at the same time. And I think that is all 27. So that was the challenge, to make 27 new creatures. We'll just go back through them. Actually, I'll stop on each one of them for anyone else who joined later. I'll say my favorites, if I had to pick some favorites, stories that I'm going to keep like elaborating on, definitely the Black Pearl Brewery is going to be a story I'm going to be working on. Just looking back down at there. Okay, I'll stop at each one. This guy, these messengers, the grasshopper messengers, definitely going to keep working on them. So expect more information on them coming someday. I really like the idea of these Honduran ghost bats. So I'll probably work on them a little bit. This guy's easy to work on, so he'll definitely have a storyline, because all you need to do is be like, give me more plants, and he's got you. I love the honey badgers. I'm going to work on them more. I like all the creations, but stories I'm going to immediately work on. Little Pyro, his little adventures, probably just, like, honestly, I've thought of two things about this guy, like either developing his adventures or turning him into a character, a playable character in the game, and then just whatever adventures he goes on are his adventures. But unfortunately, if somebody does that, they have to follow a little bit of his storyline. But maybe, who knows? I have no idea. This is my first time ever doing this kind of stuff. Definitely gonna work on the Nocturnal Reef as a location. That's a fun and exciting location to work on, so we'll see an expansion on the Nocturnal Reef. I love the idea of this guy, so if there's a war ever happening in the world, this guy's going to show up. These guys are good. I just don't have a place yet in the world for them. So once I find a place, this whole Tourmaline City, Prey, Queen, that story will come to life. I forgot this guy's war too. So we have the mythical owl and the cat. Man, I wonder if this cat could change the mindset of this owl. That would be interesting. I'm now connecting my monsters together into other stories. Oh yeah, I want a story about this one, but unfortunately it's not supposed to be seen very often, so it's going to be a pretty elusive creature if it does come in. The dark Chinese deer, named Bora Stardust, because I'm bad at naming stuff. The Oni salamander, nothing too much, and we'll probably work on this guy. I didn't even click on him for whatever reason at the start. I think I was distracted, but this one was from Darth Goracorn, and his many words. He makes really beautiful things, and we were just typing it back and forth, and we've got this like really cool big butterfly wings. But if you turn him around, he definitely is not what you would have expected in the moment. So he has a really cool body. This was the first creature I created for the month, so he got a very small story, but he is still terrifying. There's legends about him, meaning the reason why people don't know much about him is if you see him, you're probably not going to be alive, at least from the front. So you usually see him like this, and if you don't interact with him, you'll be alive still. But if you and him meet face to face, he's definitely going to rip your face off somehow. So there you go. We got through 27 creatures. This was the Bestiary Month Challenge. I was looking at their webpage because I thought it was fun, but I noticed I don't think they have any challenge this next month. I like how there's how to create a monster now. Like, I'll probably look at that now that I've created 30 monsters and see what senior designer at Cobalt Press has to say. So I'll probably turn this into a stream, because now that I've practiced 30 times with no experience, just my own, see what a lead designer thinks. So I'm going to write that down as a potential stream. I don't know. I'm still figuring out potential streams, so if anyone has ideas, I'm still learning what to stream. As in, I like to do things that I like to do, so if I don't like to do it, I won't do it, but I will definitely take ideas. This was my first attempt at showcasing a month's worth of streams, so that's new for me. All right, so we're gonna do how to create monsters. So that'll be the next one, because we don't have. Yeah, I think so. I was just checking. I think we're good. I think that's it for the day. So thanks for joining in. Hope you guys had fun looking at all those creations. I was just looking around for the last couple of minutes to see. Ooh, daily featured. Oh, you know what? I think that'd be fun to do. Daily feature article. I'm just coming up with some stream ideas since I don't have Bestiary February anymore. Daily featured article. You know what? I'm going to challenge myself this month to rate the daily feature article. Oh, wait. I'd have to stream daily. That's not going to work for streaming. Well, I'm still going to challenge myself to rate every... I'll rate every day. And then I will stream rate once. And then show the rest. Yeah, that works. Cool. That sounds like fun. Let's see. I don't think Midjourney's still upgrading their website, so I don't know if they got the community side of it down yet, but they're trying, I think. I'm just looking around, seeing if there's any other things I can click on to find out. Who is there? Oh, wow. We're at 35,000 words already for... I was at, like, I swear, like 9,000 words before we started doing all this work and streaming. So we're getting close to that 50,000 word goal. All right. Well, we will call that a stream and be back another time. Oh, did it stop? Oh. Internet is having connection problems. Well, I'm gonna answer a couple people. Okay. There you go. Had to make sure I... Cool. Okay, so that being said, I think we're good. Yeah, we did that. We did that. Yeah, we did that. We did that. We are good to go. All right. Peace, everyone.